Well, can we say good morning, Vietnam?
What?
No, we can't do that because we ain't there, are we?
No.
But we can say good morning, Jacksonville, Onslow County, all of eastern North Carolina, and in fact, all over the World Wide Web. We are yonder. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee
And
Barrows.
this is Live and Local Real Talk. And we do appreciate y'all. We welcome you aboard the maybe the Rocky train today. Who knows? Who knows how it's going to be?
Or we can go to the stream.
Oh, well, I've been to the stream. It's a great place out there. Even in the middle of the wintertime, the stream is warm. The water temperature is nice and warm, and that just makes the air warm. I've left Jacksonville one year, broke the ice pulling out of Tideline Marine in the back. I broke the ice on the back of the boat, right?
Ice?
So it was ice in the harbor, and I backed it all the way out into the river, so I could get out there where it wasn't frozen out there. And then got out to the Gulf Stream, and we had to get rid of all of our coats and stuff like that. Wish we'd had shorts on. It was very warm, and that's the way it is around this neck of the woods when you go offshore. I like it. This was in December too, right after Christmas. So it felt good out there. I kind of wanted to stay for a while, and we've got. I kind of felt like I wanted to open this morning with a song called "Welcome Back, Cotter," but we could have changed it to "Welcome Back, Kelly." Right, maybe we could get Steve to write us a little song, "Welcome Back, Kelly," to the tune of "Welcome Back,
It would
Cotter."
probably play a lot.
Yeah. Oh, she's listening to you.
She's a busy woman.
Yeah, she's right now relocating a couple of creatures, four-legged ones.
Yes.
So you've been gone for a month. So how was it?
It was good. The first part was not good while I was gone, but the second part was good.
Why was the first part not good? Traffic?
No,
Getting situated?
no, I meant the whole why I wasn't here.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Why you were not here?
Well, you came back before you left again.
I was talking about the trip.
no, I did not. I haven't been back since Robin had his incident.
I guess that's right.
Yeah.
She's been
Okay.
gone for, like I said, a month.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I get confused.
Since
Yeah.
almost last month.
Yeah.
Or
Been
maybe it
about
was-
2 weeks.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. So this is a microphone.
I
This is a
know.
microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm back on my
You're
perch.
talking-
you
you're
don't have
talking
to
the
tell her how to
microphone.
talk.
Yeah. No.
Well, not how to talk.
She
You're
can be vocal.
Mm-hmm.
She's going with me to a box store today. We're about
Yeah.
to get locked
I
up.
think I got the best plan, though. I want to go along. I could make us a lot of money.
Make that thing go viral.
Shooting the two of you girls going in there and what did I call it? Without
Bad
naming the store.
girls gone wild in.
There's only 2 big box stores
Blah,
around
blah,
here that we're
store.
going into, so
Well, there'd be several.
we could get a crowd there watching if.
Oh
they-
yeah, it'd be one of them flash mobs.
Yeah. Well.
We could do all that together. But anyway, Lee bought advice and it didn't work out well.
It's been a
First
nightmare.
go around because have it after she paid for it. Yeah,
It took a week to find out they
Find
didn't
out they
have
didn't
it.
have it.
Then
She needed
ordered
it.
a different
she
one.
needed it yesterday because she broke hers.
Mhm.
Maybe you better explain what this device is. It's a lawnmower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk
I
about
just thought
it.
about
It's a
that,
lawnmower.
I didn't either until right
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a lawnmower. Hers is her 1891 lawnmower worn out.
It still
finally.
runs. It just got a lot of issues.
Yeah. But-
17 years old.
So she ordered a new one. They
Took
had it
them
in
a week.
stock.
Yeah.
Then they found out they didn't.
Right.
Then they had another one they could. Oh, wait for a few dollars more.
Yes.
Mhm.
So this one they actually had
Well, part of
the whole mower and they put it in the back for delivery, but delivery was scheduled 7 days out because they use a third party to deliver and they were already
two men in a
booked.
truck or something.
Yeah, and I'm like a mile and a half down the road.
You could have driven it that far.
You
if
couldn't
you gotten it
just-
started.
Yeah, well, if I could have got it started. So yesterday they finally show up, dump it in my front yard, leave, and I couldn't even get it started because I had no manuals, nothing. And my neighbor finally figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a bar in the very back that I guess is
Got a
engaged for
safety-
transport.
Safety bar. Yeah.
And you've got to pull that bar and turn anyway. So
Thank
we got
OSHA for that.
but I still have no manuals or anything. So the store said, we'll gather that together, come back tomorrow and pick it up. And I'm like,
Mhm.
really? You should be delivering it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that,
Oh,
I
okay.
should have Ubered that sucker over.
First of all, it's incompetence.
Oh, to the max.
second of all, how do they not verify this stuff? Why is it all not together is my second question.
Right.
I got a primary question, but go ahead.
Um, and I mean, come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
I bought one from the same
Mhm.
store a couple of years ago.
Yes.
It was out there. And
That's the way mine was.
It looked like
On the sidewalk.
It was on the sidewalk, and
Right.
it was a brand new mower. They said, but
Right.
they had it discounted hundreds of dollars. And I said,
Mhm.
"Why?" It came back. We had to repair it. We had to send it out for repairs
Oh,
because the battery was it was a bad battery,
that's
and so
yeah.
they had to put a new battery in.
But then that means it's not new.
Well, it came with a new warranty, but
That-
they didn't sell it as new.
Oh, okay.
They sold it as a
A
return.
return. Okay.
Which I said, well, what about the warranty? That's the same warranty. So I got the same warranty. And I mean, we're talking about maybe $500 less,
Okay.
and it had a new battery.
Okay.
Well, see, now the
Now-
second one
Now
I
the thing
paid.
that I did is I said, start it up right
Uh-huh.
now, and they did. They put some gas in it. It had oil in it already, but they put gas in it. They started it right there, and I drove it around the parking lot. I wanted to be sure if I'm coming
I don't
back.
blame you.
And now you understand why I did that.
Right. Well, mine, the second
The
one,
mine was great, no problem.
it was discounted $300 because they had to put a new battery in it. But when they dropped it off, the cables were loose. I had to tighten those up. Like I said, new manual. And it's like my old mower, only it's a
But
little
they
bit
didn't
more
start it
advanced.
up while you were there.
No,
did
they did. They said, "Well, did they start it up?" I got no. First of all, it has no gas. Look, I don't even think the delivery men spoke English.
Mm.
You know,
Well,
so
The other thing is normally the manual is attached to the mower.
yes,
At
and
least-
it was not.
Mine was when I bought. Yeah, these people. Mm-mm.
Well, it's not. I understand things happen.
No.
But but
There's
I
something else.
think
You were
it-
missing parts.
Well, yeah, the seat's got one bolt in it. Holding
Yes.
it on one bolt.
Supposed to
The
have
other-
two.
Yeah, well, there's three.
Three.
There's three. I only have one bolt, so I'm sure the bolts will not be there in the bag when I go, because it's just going to be like, well, we probably scattered it somewhere, whatever.
Idiot.
It's the attitude, the customer
Sure.
service, the attitude of who you're dealing with. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, we're sorry. Oh well, next.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Ugh."
Well, like I say, mine came
So we'll
fine, but
go
I was,
today.
and I hate to bring this up because I can see the backlash right now, but I'm a man
Right.
and I went there to do
Uh,
it. Y'all ain't.
Well, see, that's what even irks me more.
That's what I figured it would.
Because like I'm gonna tell you a story. This is like 25 years ago. I had a Ford Escort station wagon. That's what I used to deliver mail. That was way back before I got smart. And the radiator had a leak in it.
Mhm.
So I went down to a business that was on 24 that you could order
Yeah.
the stuff through them.
Aftermarket stuff.
Yes. So I told him, I gave him the make, model, engine size, everything completely. So they said, okay, we'll order it. So it was
So
supposed to
you're
come
going to
in.
install it yourself.
Yeah, it came
Okay.
in on the bus a couple days later, and I go down there and they said, "Here's your radiator." Well, it's twice the size of mine, and I go,
I'm going to need a bigger
"That
car.
will not fit in my car." And so we argued back and forth. You know what the guy said to me?
Uh-oh.
You obviously do not know what you drive.
Uh-oh.
So I left there.
Yeah, y'all never
I
seen
went
me in
down
a
to the
store.
junkyard on 17 South,
Mhm.
got one out of one that was wrecked in the bag.
Took it out yourself.
Took it out. Well, the guy took it out for me. I
Oh,
took it
okay.
home and put it in myself.
Mhm.
It's not hard to do.
No, it's just.
So
got a
where's the
couple
first
things.
place I went when I
Right
went?
back to that store, I hope.
Yeah, parked right in front of the plate glass windows. Walked in. I said, "Can I speak to so and so?" He walked out, and I said, "See that car sitting right there? That is a Ford Escort." And I said, "Don't you ever presume that because I'm a woman, I don't know the difference between water and oil." I said, "I went and got one for $100 less than what you quoted me and put it in myself.
There you
And
go.
as far as I know, it's still in there. So I don't know."
Did he say anything or
No, he just stood,
dude?
yeah, with that look on his face, like, "Oh my goodness, I have made the wrong woman mad."
No.
I was offended.
Made the
I
right
really
woman mad.
was. Oh, we women are not helpless, are
No,
we, Kelly?
not
We-
at all.
When it comes to taking out the hammer and the saw, we probably do it ourselves, don't we?
And probably do a better job.
Yeah. See,
Just saying.
Okay.
just saying.
What y'all doing later? I got some work up there to be done. I'm tired of working on
Okay,
it.
I ranted enough
I
about
got
myself.
another light fixture to get
Let's go
back.
back to Kelly's trip.
So we
It was
got
cold.
Robin all taken care of.
Robin's taken care of.
Is he good to go? No problems, no issues.
No,
You have to change the oil on him too.
no, he was good. Some relaxation, a little annoyed at times, but people calling him. And I'm going to go on to say, do not call Robin's phone after 10:30 p.m. because I can, from here on out, this goes, I'm putting the word out, and I'm probably going to have to make a Facebook post on his page.
Just turn it off.
Because if you do, he will not be the one answering. It will be me. And you will get your feelings hurt.
Yeah. Oh.
There it goes.
Okay.
So
Make a note to myself. Don't call Robin after 10:30.
you want to get up with Robin, call me, and then I will, determine if it's somebody I think he can talk to or not at that late at night. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really not cool unless you've got a situation that, and that you've got to work. If you're just the general public or
Mhm.
just want to chat,
Send him an email.
don't call people like that at nighttime. Yes, they are. I don't want to call them public servants, but they sort of are. They're elected officials, and they do have a life.
Yep. Mhm.
They do have a life, and part of that life involves sleep.
Yep.
And sleep deprivation, it
None.
kind of interferes with them doing the job that they're hired to do.
Correct.
Okay, so just as a word to the wise here, I know I've dealt with it. Updated story: the man who drove his pickup truck into a homecoming parade in Richland.
Oh, yeah, I know, I saw that.
last week.
I hope he's still in the.
He's been charged with driving while impaired
There you go.
and more. 38-year-old Jonathan Warren was arrested last Friday after he drove through the Richlands High School homecoming parade.
Ridiculous.
Police say he was driving towards the parade when a Richlands officer told him to stop. Instead, they said he drove around the patrol car and drove
Stupid.
along the route. He encountered deputies at an intersection, proceeded to go around them, and then struck an occupied parked car. Nobody got hurt, thankfully. Richlands police say Warren faces charges that include DWI, careless and reckless driving, possessing an open container of alcoholic beverage, failure to obey a traffic offense, unsafe movement, felony failure to elude arrest, and resisting a public officer. He got 7 charges out of that sucker.
There was a video on social media,
Was there?
and there was a mad mama, and she filmed the arrest, the
Okay.
open container in his car, the whole 9 yards. I saw that Friday. I'm like,
Mr.
you get
Warren,
it.
a couple things. You're going to be walking for a long time, I can tell you that. Number 2 is you might want to consider yourself extremely lucky that there were men and with law enforcement badges and stuff around there to protect.
To protect
you.
And that mama was
Yes.
an angry elf.
I would imagine.
Mhm.
I would imagine coming close. Not.
You know,
good.
that could have been a really tragic
It could be.
situation.
It has been in other places.
Yes, it has. Look what happened in Raleigh.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they're still dealing with the aftermath. And once again, they're not allowing the veterans to have a veterans parade this year in Raleigh
because of stupidity.
because of stupidity, because of some fool that wants to take a drink and get out there and mow children down. I swear.
But they're having a Christmas parade.
Yes.
So if you can have a Christmas parade, why can't you have a veterans parade?
Well, they have put stipulations out there where something about you have to walk and you can't have this and you can't have it. A lot of those veterans can't get out and walk a parade route.
I'll give you that.
I couldn't
I
do it.
can't.
Not right now.
I ain't going to do it. Speaking of the Veterans Day Parade, coming
Yes.
up the 9th.
Yes, of
It's-
November, and
that-
I have got to get our application in today. I need
Okay, you need to do that.
I need to do that. Let me
I'll touch base
make
with
a note.
our driver
Yes,
and his vehicle.
Yes, that's going to be
So,
exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Where's my
And
calendar?
I'm working on a couple of signs, at least temporary, get us some signs for the vehicle.
Right.
Okay.
Live and look for us, live and local, real talk. That's
We're
what
gonna
we
be
will
out there,
be,
yeah.
and we'll be raising Cain all the way along the whole parade route.
Yes, we will.
Okay. 1X marks the spot. Another area that hasn't reached the status of X. being discussed by the National Hurricane Center this morning. The X is in the southern central Atlantic, the tropical Atlantic, they call it, several hundred miles west of the Cape Verde Islands, between Africa's west coast and the Leeward Islands. The Hurricane Center describes it as a well-defined area of low pressure that is producing occasional showers and thunderstorms. It's somewhat stuck in a dry air environment, they call it these days, meaning that there's little chance of further development over the next 2 days. However, after that, anything goes. The system is likely to move generally westward, where conditions are expected to become more favorable for gradual development late this week.
See.
Forecasters say that a tropical depression could form as the system begins moving west-northwestward and approaches or moves near the Leeward Islands. That's down there near Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, that neck of the woods, and a little bit further south. Formation chance, 48 hours, nothing, 10%. Through the next 7 days, 60%.
Right.
So we'll have to keep our eye on that one. To the non-X area, a broad area of low pressure could develop over the southwestern Caribbean Sea over the next few days. There is a possibility of additional development if the system remains over open waters. And we've seen what happens in those warm waters of the Western Caribbean this year. Right now, the mass is meandering towards Central America with no definitive direction of travel. If it forms up into anything, any kind of a formation, and develops a direction of travel, and if it continues going towards Central America, then it'll be over land masses. So that will hinder further development. That would
Okay.
be okay.
Tick.
Yeah.
Hate it for the people in Honduras and
Mhm.
that neck of the woods, but it
Clock is
what it
ticking. Come on November 30th.
Yeah. Well, we had actually had a hurricane or two.
Wasn't it in January?
Well, we had them in
A while
December some years ago. It was one year that we went through the entire
That's right. And then went through the
alphabet
Greek
and then had to go
alphabet.
I
and
remember
get
that,
into
yeah.
the Greek alphabet.
Well,
Yeah.
didn't we have
Was
like
that
a
last year or the year before?
No, it's been
tropical
years ago.
storm in January? And that was
Yeah.
within the last 5 years. Some
It
kind of
could have
tropical
been.
Yeah, but I
storm.
can remember Lee and I sitting here trying to figure out the Greek alphabet.
Yeah,
We were
I
sitting here
know.
struggling. Yeah.
We were.
That was a couple. What?
Yeah, you were gone, Rayford.
Yeah.
And Kelly and I were sitting there like going like,
Yeah. We're just making up names and yeah.
You could have caught
We
Theo.
just did our own thing. Yeah.
Theo
I
could
don't even
have
think
helped
about that. Yeah. We
Yeah.
could have called
we
Theo.
should have called
Yeah.
Theo. That's right.
Yes.
Have you seen that high school NIL is now legal effective Monday?
The high school what?
NIL. So it's where, in other words, high school football player or sports players, it's not just football, sports players can now get NIL money, which is for name, image, and likeness.
Oh,
For,
well, let high schools do it.
The
now.
judge signed the order on Monday because apparently back in August, a Grimsley High School quarterback, Faison Brandon, his family filed a lawsuit against the State Board of Education and
Uh-huh.
DPI. He's the class of 26 and he's committed to Tennessee. And they're saying that the board, because the board, North Carolina DPI and the Board of Education had banned it. They didn't want the high school players profiting off their name and stuff because they can get money and endorsements, whatever. And so they sued it because apparently in 2023, Senate Bill 452 was passed, which said that high schools can allow athletes to use their NIL.
Okay. With that being said,
I
I
think-
want a sweatshirt with the cardinal bird on it and number 9 Damon June on the back.
Why not?
Yeah.
I'll pay you for it.
So
So he should be able to get some money for that.
Yes.
NIL is legal effective yesterday.
Good towards his college
Mhm.
fund.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll have a scholarship
Yeah.
waiting for him.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
He's,
Yes. December, I think he's supposed to sign on. for
Carolina.
college. Carolina. Go
Mhm.
Carolina.
Yeah, this kid that filed the original lawsuit is committed to Tennessee. So
Right.
Yep.
Very good. Well,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure they've got safeguards in place, and I'm for it. I'm cool with it.
At the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I got a
mhm.
nephew there
Oh,
this year.
yeah.
He's a freshman this year. I told him to be on the lookout. Marine Outlook brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. We talk about prevention a lot. That's what's the title of their business name too. It's an important word we should rely on in a lot of situations. There's information out there about planning for any major emergency. We know about that. How about information on how to deal with an emergency close to home? What have you been told about the less obvious, but oftentimes the more frequent issues facing more and more of our family members every day? Yes, there are problems. You might not be able to identify or isolate what those problems are. You just know. Can't prove it, but you know it. You've seen a change in attitude, a change in performance, more hatred, probably more consumption use.
Mhm.
Now what? A question that so many families have to deal with. No doubt you don't want to do anything that will have a negative impact on your loved one. Understood. I completely understand that. But I have a question. What if your loved one has no future other than a box and a plot? I hate to be that direct, I really do, but what if something could have been done early on, a month, 6 months, a year earlier? When did family first see something was wrong? Hoping for a change without intervention? Sometimes I guess that's possible. Sometimes this ain't going to happen. While there are some who know they have a problem and they seek help, the vast majority need a loving kick in the butt. We know you can lead them to water, but they will never drink a single drop without some positive influence. That's where the folks at Community Prevention Services come in. A staff of well-trained counselors. They're right there waiting for you. They want to help you. That's a key phrase. They want to help you. Locally owned, not a chain operation, only in business for the big bucks. They're located here in Jacksonville at 918 Henderson Drive. You'll be happy to know that they accept most insurance plans as well. Call today for an appointment. 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972. Offshore, northerly winds today, 5 to 10 knots, becoming northwesterly this afternoon. Seas are nice, 2 to 3 footers, 3-foot waves from the west every 6 seconds. Sounds and rivers are like chop. Wednesday, kicking up a bit. Northerly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25 knots. Best to stay inshore. Seas 3 to 4 feet, except 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. And on Thursday, northerly winds 15 to 20 again, with gusts up to 25, diminishing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon. 2 to 4 foot seas. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon.
Today, sunny, high of 69 with north winds 3 to 6 mile an hour today. Tonight, increasing clouds, low of 48. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with a high of 60. Winds from the north 7 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow night, oh man, you better turn the heat on. Mostly clear, low of 38.
Oh, wow.
Wow, this would be a good chance to see if my fireplace works. My gas logs.
That's a little warm to be building a fire.
I just got a
But
message.
not for you, right?
It is cold, Rayford.
I just got a message pertaining to what you were talking about the high school players.
Mhm.
And it says high school players getting NL money are not allowed to use anything as associated with their high schools. They can only use their own name,
Sure.
image, or
Can't
likeness.
put
Right.
Cardinals on it.
Yeah,
You
can't
can just put their name.
I can put the cardinal on there.
You can add it to
I
it.
can add it after I buy the sweatshirt.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Robert Lefevers. I am running for the Onslow County School Board. I want to put safety back into our schools as we desperately need it. I also want to put volunteer veterans in our schools to help with security and mentoring our students, along with any other needs the schools may have for them. I want to roll out a new bullying campaign that will make it more severe for repeat offenders and to educate the community and our teachers and students about bullying. We also need to get our parents involved because it needs to start at home and let them understand that it continues outside of our school walls through social media and other platforms. We also need to enforce policies we have in place on vaping and drugs and make sure that we implement that evenly throughout the district at all schools, that we all follow the same policies. If you truly want to see change in this district, the only real choice is to vote Lefevers on November 5th. I'm Robert Lefevers, and I approve this message.
Okay, we're back. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're anxiously awaiting the arrival of
Our sheriff.
Onslow County Sheriff Chris Thomas, and I think I see him meandering out there in the driveway. So
okay.
he'll be coming in here in just a second or two. We talked. I talked yesterday. I ranted yesterday. It was Monday. Okay.
Did you ever rant?
And
Some of our people so upset.
well, it's okay. I'm glad to see people get upset. They should be getting upset. I get upset. If I can get upset, y'all can get upset. You need to do it. It's a thing. And I've been staying away from the political, making too many comments about politics. Y'all have. Y'all made a bunch of them. I've read of official accounts, those being the news media, of this or that or whatever, but I haven't voiced any opinions until now.
Haven't voiced
And until
any
now.
opinions.
About the political world. I just shied away from it this year for good reason. I wanted to see what y'all thought, and unfortunately, too many of you didn't offer too many opinions. So I did.
It was more bashing your opinion than it was offering their opinion.
Yeah, well, I offered my opinion, and
Yes, you
I've
did.
engaged you, and you all have an opinion, and that's fine with me. I hope you do. I want you to have opinions. So I got mine out, and you all got yours out. Don't take offense at what I feel, and I won't take offense at the way you feel. That's just the way it is. You vote your conscience. You vote the way you want to vote, or don't. And I don't. I said yesterday, and maybe this was a little strong, and I've said it before. If you don't vote, I really don't want to hear what you've got to say and complain about.
Well, a lot
If
of
you
people
don't
say
vote.
that, though. I've heard that
I
for
know.
years.
But some people say, well, I have a right not to vote. Yeah, well, we got a right not to vote. We got a right not to go to church. Okay, freedom of religion or freedom from religion. Freedom to vote, right to vote, but you have a right to vote. I add one more thing there. I don't say that you have a responsibility to go to church. I think you have a responsibility to vote. We got people who lived and died and killed for that right for you and me. Okay, that's my personal opinion. I'm glad we got a gentleman in here who doesn't have any personal opinions. Sheriff Chris Thomas. Sheriff, how you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing this morning?
Oh, we're hanging in here. This is my protection detail today, just in case yesterday got out of hand. First of all, you got an event I want to make sure people are aware of coming up.
I appreciate
A
that.
couple of days from now, right?
Actually, it's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Yes, it's
Okay.
tomorrow night. It's 6 to 8 at Hubert Volunteer Fire Station.
Mhm.
We're doing a town hall style
Mhm.
meeting. Chance for the public to come in and sit down and meet myself and my staff and talk about any issues they may have or may want to address, any ideas they have at handling some stuff. So
You've had similar things in the past, and you were involved in some with your predecessor.
Yep.
Doing those on a regular basis. Did anything good ever come out of those meetings?
oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We get a lot of information. Sometimes we have individuals come in that have a problem that may not had a chance to come to the office to meet myself or one of my staff and sit down and talk about it. And it gives them a chance to talk with us. If they want to talk about something privately, obviously we'll move to the side and try to address what issues they have.
Well, I know approaching you is a little bit difficult at times. I can say for a fact that about a week and a day ago, I tried to enter your sheriff's office and I was barred. I had a man standing on the inside holding both doors closed.
Oh, that was me. I'm sorry. I saw you coming.
I was like, what?
I couldn't see inside. I couldn't see. It was dark inside. I was in the bright sun. I said, "This door, it seems to be locked. Do I have to put some force on this?" And I looked through it and I said, "There's the sheriff holding both doors." Planted his feet. That was fun. But that's the kind of guy that we got, gentlemen and ladies out there. If you want to see him, he is approachable.
Absolutely. Come by anytime. You don't have to have an appointment.
Mhm.
It makes it a lot easier if I know you're coming, because sometimes I may have stepped out of my office or maybe into jail or
Yeah, you do have other things to do.
out on the road somewhere. But absolutely, stop by. We'll sit and talk.
Mhm. So that's always a good feeling to know that the chief law enforcement officer of the community will do that.
Yep.
It's not always the case.
No, it's not. Some places, we're a large population here, so we stay pretty busy, but we lay forward that effort to be available and be accessible.
Good. Okay, so nuts and bolts tomorrow night at Hubert Volunteer Fire Department.
Yep.
And the time is 6.
It starts at 6.
6.
Get there when you can get there. We're planning on being there until 8, or at least until we've answered everybody's questions. If it takes longer or whatever.
Don't block the fire trucks.
Oh, no, don't block the fire trucks. There'll be plenty of parking to the side.
Okay, very good. What kind of stuff do you expect to come out? Have you had in the past come out in meetings like this?
We get a lot of information on drug use, drug dealing.
Really?
We get a lot of
Still
issues.
one of the big complaints.
It still is. On the way to work this morning, and my deputy's responding to an overdose first thing this morning. So
Wonderful.
It's not surprising at all in the mornings. So in the mornings seem to be a peak time for that. People are starting their day, and then at the late of an evening, we'll have another smaller response for those.
So your peak time is early morning?
Yeah, people get home, they do their day, they finish their day, and they go to bed. When they get up, if you're addicted to fentanyl or heroin, that's how you start your day.
And you don't know what you're getting.
Nope, you don't know what you're getting.
You're not going to the nearby pharmacy to get your dope, right?
Nope, you're getting what someone mixed in a cup or a bucket or whatever somewhere with no controls and no oversight.
How much of this stuff, the fentanyl, is born and bred here in North Carolina?
0.
Mm.
It is all.
Would you classify us as a border state?
No, absolutely not. Unless you're talking about the Atlantic Ocean, and we don't have many immigrants coming in that way.
Mm-hmm. So they're coming here from somewhere else.
Yeah, they are. I mean, your fentanyl, all the precursors are made in China.
Yep.
And they're shipped to Mexico or South America, and they're generally brought across the southern border. Some are brought across the northern border, which is starting to be a thing now.
Really?
Yes, and that's how it's getting here. I mean, methamphetamine. We used to respond to. We called them one pot. You could get the ingredients here, and you can make it yourself basically in a bottle. Very messy, very dangerous. We had a lot of fires and stuff with it, but over the past couple of years, I've not seen a single one pot cook because it's so readily available coming across the southern border.
Oh, great. What kind of solution do we have here to deal with this? How can we deal with it?
Well, I mean, you got to hit it from multiple angles. Enforcement, which I'm a strong proponent of enforcement and punishment for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But treatment, right now in my detention center, we have a fully active medicine-assisted treatment program. It comes with counseling. That comes with peer support. That comes with individuals that don't work for the sheriff's office, but help us outside of the detention center. So when you get out, you got support there to try to get clean, try to stay clean. But securing the southern border would be a tremendous help. Trying to do something with the production well beyond our county's ability, but do something to try to curb the flow of precursors from China. I don't know if it's with sanctions or negotiation or whatever. That's beyond the sheriff's realm. But if they could cut the tap off, it would go a long ways.
Mm-hmm. That's going to have to be done at the federal level.
Absolutely. Federal level. The sheriffs on the southern border are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Talked with a few that are down there, and one of them, he's so many dead bodies that they find that did not make it across the border, that the best they can do is collect them and take care of the remains, and there is no investigation. I mean, it's all
Potter's Hill.
is, I don't recall the name of the county.
No, I'm just talking about Potter's Hill, like they used to call for the
Yeah,
for
they,
the folks that they had no place to go when they died.
yep, they have a place that they bury them. They try to identify them if they can. A lot of them are not. So it's not only a drug problem, but it's a humanity problem. I mean, they're coming across, they're being human trafficked, and that's a huge, huge problem. I mean, it's right almost neck and neck with the drug issue.
I was reading some stories from Border Patrol some time ago, but sometimes when the guys would jump and run from their vehicles that they've left them, that they finally get inside and they find a loaded and 100-degree temperatures. I mean, that southern border can get to be very hot. And
Extremely.
they find people stacked, and some of them dead, others dying
Yep.
in the back of these vehicles when they abandoned them.
It's not an unusual story to hear.
Okay, let's come closer to home. We had tragedy here a couple of weeks ago in western North Carolina. We're dealing with it. It impacted Onslow County as well. Onslow County Sheriff's Office, fire departments, the police department. We had people from the power companies. We had lots of folks going out there to help. Now, Sheriff's Office was heavily involved, is heavily involved.
We're coordinating our response through the North Carolina Sheriff's Association.
Mhm.
It's a program called Sheriffs Helping Sheriffs, which is really counties helping counties.
Right.
I have deputies currently in Buncombe County that's helping. I just had 5 deputies return Sunday that had been out there for a week. When it first started, one of my lieutenants, Lieutenant Smits, wanted to start a drive to collect donations.
Right.
Of course, everybody, all of us were on board with it. I didn't realize how many donations we would collect. We ended up with a semi-tractor trailer load, a large U-Haul load,
Mm-hmm.
and a large trailer load that we were able to carry up there. Man, Onslow County is awesome.
Well, you had some specific requirements or requests too from that area.
We had some, everything from sleeping bags to coats. It's starting to get cold up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase that. I was up there Wednesday evening. It is cold up there. But we had some special requests from particular items. I think now some of them are requesting 10 items and stuff. We carried a lot of hygiene products up there, cleaning products, storm cleaning kits. But everybody stepped up and people started bringing stuff. I was worried to start with we wouldn't have a good showing. I was very wrong. We had a huge showing. We had some folks from West Virginia that had collected a bunch of stuff and tried to get it in, and they wouldn't let them in.
Why? We've heard too many reports about that.
Well, I think it's a combination of road closures.
Okay.
Roads were out, being able to handle it, somewhere to store it, the uncontrolled, bringing in stuff. So they saw us on Facebook and asked if they could bring their stuff to us. And of course we said, yeah, bring it on. So they brought their stuff. We had so much, we had to start looking for a semi. And hats off to Middlemont College CDL program.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They stepped up and gave us a truck, drivers, a whole truck full of drivers to get up there and back. And we still needed room. So I said, well, we'll rent a U-Haul. We just rent a U-Haul. We went to New River U-Haul. And they saw what we were doing and said, look, just take the truck and bring it back Thursday.
Oh,
So they
nice.
donated the truck.
Nice.
So it really cost us. I mean, I paid fuel out of my pocket. My colonel paid for fuel out of his pocket. So did some of my deputies. So we didn't put a burden on them for that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were very fortunate. We went all the way to Bradshaw, North Carolina, which is literally 10 miles from the Tennessee line.
Never even heard of that one.
It's up there to a volunteer fire station. The volunteer fire stations they're the heartbeaters of those communities.
yep.
They are here too. But if you need something distributed, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
And they had it set up where they could get the stuff to the folks.
Now, you mentioned the Sheriff's Association now, because sheriff's departments, sheriff offices, whatever they are, wherever they are.
Officers.
I know we are here. I don't know where
That is
all of
such a
some of them.
good-
I still Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, for instance,
It's a
they're still
bad-
listed as a department. It gets confusing, but I know that we are an office, and I think probably everybody in North Carolina is an office now, right?
Everyone.
Okay, good. So I can put that aside. But you guys, with this association, you're organized at the top. You know where you're going. You know what to do. And I can see problems with a bunch of stuff just willy nilly showing up, and suddenly the guy on the roadblock somewhere is like, "What do I do now?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have bad players when you have tragedy too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, folks come in and they try to swindle folks with,
Oh, yeah.
overcharging for cleanup, or they will get products and that are donated and turn around and try to do something to make profit with it. So you got to be really careful where it goes to. I love the volunteer fire departments. They're great places. You know, obviously your sheriff's offices, but you know, places like Samaritan's Purse. I was only up there on that delivery day for a day. Up there with those folks, I didn't see a FEMA person anywhere, but I saw Samaritan's Purse. They were on point.
Awesome.
They were working. And
I've asked so many people who've been in the aftermath of disasters over the decades. What does a FEMA person look like?
I don't know. I talked to one
I get a lot of
individual.
silence.
Yeah, I talked to one person. They said they had seen a FEMA truck that had FEMA on the side of it, but didn't see any personnel. I asked an individual in Burnsville, you know, how's FEMA been doing? He looked at me and said, "What in blank FEMA?"
Mm-hmm.
And so they really hadn't had a lot of dealings with them. So
Wow.
Well, congratulations. Are you going to still collect?
we're not collecting right now.
Mhm.
I'm sending staff up. I think the collection are getting down to particular items, and if we hear a need for something, then we will collect and make sure we transport that up there to whatever community needs it. But
Okay.
I mean, I believe every sheriff's office, a lot of the PDs are all kind of, chipping in. We're offering our personnel help or our manpower help, coordinated it with the counties closest and worked our way to the coast.
Mhm.
And it worked its way to us, and we sent folks, and then they asked us to send people again, so we sent people again.
Well, Onslow County's been helped by other folks, in North Carolina when we've had issues.
I told them that at the fire station up there. They said they're really appreciative of us trying to help. And I told them, I said, well, I've worked hurricanes and I've seen people from the mountains.
Yep.
So if y'all help us, we help y'all. That's North Carolina.
Yeah. I'll never forget I think it was right after Fran, 6 units from a special detail in Apalachicola, Florida showed up at
Yeah.
Curie Beach.
Yep.
To help.
Well, the Onslow's I'm gonna say they've stepped up pretty strong. A lot of organizations have stepped up. I know our 911 center is dispatching for one of the counties up there. They've got the calls routed here,
Really?
and they route the calls here, and then our guys
Really?
dispatch it to them. And there's some other counties doing that. Some damage in their 911 centers, I would
Sure.
assume, from the storm, or personnel in a position where they couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So the county stepped up for that. I know one of our animal control officers, I believe, was in Buncombe County trying to help, because
Yeah.
something happens like this, folks forget, the animals.
Yep.
But I saw loads and loads of hay going up for livestock. We took donations of dog food and cat food. But yeah, Onslow stepped up. They've done a good job with helping this time.
I like that. And that's one of the
How
reasons
do
to be
you
here.
not just break down and start crying when you see all that, or what people are doing to help? I just get emotional thinking about it.
Yeah, and there people got big hearts. But we got to Burnsville and turned to go up into they call it a holler up there. And Burnsville, they kind of had it back together and the power was on. But you could tell the river through, a lot of the stuff was taken out.
Right.
But we got up on, run along the edge of a river, and literally half the road was taken out that we were trying to drive on. And on the other side, the railroad track, the bed of the railroad track in sections was gone, and the track was just laying along the side. A few places we went by that had really nice foundations, but no house. Trees down.
Moving water is powerful.
Tremendously powerful. So,
Your guys that went up there, they did some search and recovery.
yeah, they've done several things. The staff I've sent's been to Buncombe County. They may be doing anything from, checking houses to securing sites that stuff's stored. because like I say, you have looting and things of that
Mhm.
nature. So we do law enforcement type stuff if whatever they request us to do.
Has it impacted your guys any? Seeing some of the things that they've had to deal with?
No, you've been around law enforcement a long time. You have a kind of a
You got a hard outer shell.
coping mechanism, I guess, that kind of builds up over time.
Mhm.
No, they've been doing pretty well.
Good.
Pretty well. They're all excited to help. If I'd have sent them all up there at once, I'd have had to work the jail and the street all at one time. So
Yeah. So, well, that's good. I'm glad you had a lot of volunteers. Let's talk about what you got going on. Got any more drug raids coming up? We can tell the people. They aren't listening to us. They don't get up this time of morning. You know that. This is the best time of day to
We won't
raid.
tell. We won't tell.
our guys are very busy,
Good.
very, very busy.
Always diligently working. And so if you're
Yeah.
doing it, expect a knock on the door at some early morning hour one day. Right?
Yeah, early morning or middle of the night.
Yeah.
But I have guys on federal task force.
Hmm.
But I don't. If I had 10 more drug investigators,
That would
they would. Well,
would you be busy?
They'd all be busy. They wouldn't miss a beat.
Tips coming in. Of course, cops rely on tips for everything,
Mhm.
and for drugs especially, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Some of it's going to be, maybe a disenfranchised spouse or ex-spouse or ex-live-in or whatever got mad.
Yep.
That doesn't mean just because they've been ditched doesn't mean they're not a good source.
Yep. You get those. You get the neighbor up the street that's seeing weird stuff. You get people may have been not mistreated, but shorted or robbed or ripped off by the dealer. As you can get tips from all kinds of sources.
You ever have anybody come in and say, "Hey, I was selling my stuff to this dude and he wouldn't pay me"?
Not recently, but I've heard stories of it. And I've seen stuff online where they reported their drugs being stolen, and
It's
Yeah, I love that.
always amazing.
Somebody stole my drugs.
Yeah, Bubba Joe, he stole my dope. What you gonna do about it? I'm gonna put you in jail when I find your dope. Just got your fingerprints on it. What? You still want to file this complaint?
I have heard of those, but I'm not personally involved with one of those yet. But nothing surprises me at this point in my career.
It gets to be rather funny at times. Okay, years ago when I first started the show, I talked with the chief of police.
Mhm.
My first interview on the air, by the way.
Mhm.
And he said, "So what's your biggest problem?" He said, "People going into other people's homes, stealing their prescription drugs."
That was a big problem for a while. It is not so much anymore.
Mhm.
Probably
People wising up.
they are wising up. Well, that and the availability of counterfeit stuff on the street. Don't necessarily have to steal for it. Probably our largest property crime is car B&Es. And larcenies. The sad thing about it is, if you lock your car and hide your belongings and take your key, you're not going to be a victim.
Mhm.
If you leave your stuff laid out in your car and don't lock it, then you got a chance of being a victim of that. I mean, they don't break windows; they walk around, pull door handles in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Probably after that would be just larceny from a property or something. So,
What can people do other than locking their cars? Cameras are everywhere now. God knows your picture was taken from 17 different angles when you walked through here this morning, which is fine.
I would imagine I'm on cameras from Richlands through Jacksonville. Yeah,
Which is a good thing. Does that help you?
absolutely. I'm not a Facebook fan. You don't.
Gotcha.
You don't,
Me either.
Yeah, you don't find me on Facebook other than my sheriff's office page.
That's what I've got.
If I can get a photograph of you, even a half decent photograph of you, or a short clip of you walking, or mannerisms or whatever, I got a really good shot at my detectives being able to identify you.
Somebody
we'll
will
post
recognize you.
We'll post it, and I mean, people who know you, who can see you from a long distance walking across the parking lot, they'll say, "Well, that's Rayford."
Yeah.
Well, and you get that with everybody. So I get really lucky with that. Sometimes people have privacy concerns with it, but video in the public places is perfectly legal. So,
You're on my property.
and
You're
if you're on
fair game.
private property, then you're subject to the property owner.
And if you're doing what you shouldn't be doing, hey,
Good on you.
that's right.
One thing you might find interesting that we are working on, and we're very, very early stages. We're trying to develop a drone program
Okay.
here for Onslow County. We're trying to work with all the municipalities and the city of Jacksonville and fire and EMS to be able to station some drones that can be deployed to emergency scenes.
Mhm.
And like I say, we're early in the process, and it is an expensive program, but we're trying to work with some of the corporate folks here in Onslow County to try to get them help us.
You're not talking about those $99.95 drones out there.
No, we're talking about a $27,000 drone.
Yeah. So, folks, it's not that little backyard thing that runs for 15 minutes and then crashes.
No, this is something you can send to a car crash scene, and you can get an idea of what the traffic is well before the first responders can even get there. You can deploy it like if I have an armed robbery somewhere. It can be deployed and can get there before the deputies can.
Mhm.
And they can feed the video from it to the responding officer so they can see around the property before they get there.
Mhm. I would imagine in this neck of the woods, given that we have an air station out here and they got little things that fly over there very low at times, that may be a little consideration.
It is a consideration. The company we're dealing with, they take care of all the licensing for us,
Mhm.
and you'll have a ceiling maximum in different areas. Not the closer you get to the base.
Sure.
If you're right beside the base, your max altitude may be 100 feet. So you're not to interfere with the military stuff,
Mhm.
but your overall maximum at the highest is 300. Yes, they are those restrictions, and the devices are set up so they can't even accidentally fly in.
Oh, okay. Good. They're programmed.
Yeah, they're got geofences on them, and you can't fly it somewhere that is not legally allowed to fly it.
Well, the three of us are going to sit here and make a motion in lieu of the county commissioners to approve the expense in the purchase of these drones.
They're very supportive. All of them have been
I'm sure
very
they are,
supportive.
yes. You gotta
Putting it out there, approve it.
Yeah.
You've got a good group of commissioners
Yes.
to work with, as like the
Yeah.
city council here in Jacksonville, got a good group of people to work with.
I'm all
I
for
mean,
it.
come on, you got
Yeah.
pro law enforcement people from both
We do.
locations.
Yes.
So that's always good. Maybe
We
that's
do.
the reason our crime rate is not like it is in some places. And I think your citizens group, and you can look to your immediate left there,
Mhm.
and she comes in here and tells me all of the stuff that she
Stories.
goes through every week for the past.
Yep. I
What,
see her
5
there
weeks
tonight,
now?
right?
I tell you, you have an awesome, awesome command staff.
So
You
we're talking-
have an awesome sheriff's office.
Talking about the Citizens Academy. I guess it was the last time you were here, you were talking about that.
Was trying to
Or-
fill up,
And the
and
first thing she did,
Oh,
she
yeah.
signed up.
Yes.
she
No,
bailed.
she-
It
And
has
Helen-
been the best experience ever.
Yep. So everybody comes out of it having a good time. I've not had anybody
The
mad over it or
stories, the
disappointed.
stories. Oh my
Now,
gosh.
now the other problem that she has is that somebody from the PD, the Jacksonville Police Department, said you didn't sign up for hours. She said, okay, I'll do that next. So she's going to be getting a double dose.
No, it was like, why didn't you show up for ours? And I go, well, and then he lets the cat out of the bag. She went to the sheriff's office. Like, oh God.
They have a good program there, but we got obviously similarities that people see, but there's
But
a
you got
lot of
the-
differences.
You got the jail, you got the courts. I
Yeah,
mean, I
you
could
have
give
the
you a
jail,
bunch of them
court,
real
civil,
fast here.
yeah.
Civil division.
Yeah.
So that's a
And,
Yeah. So last
significant
week
difference.
it was the training seminar, the that machine you have, the CTE or whatever, simulated training
yeah,
thing.
the simulator. Yeah,
And that was so awesome. And tonight it's CSI.
you will really enjoy it.
Oh, my.
I have a CSI
Well, you
division.
know-
that I
Could
put
I
up
just
on
go sit
anybody.
in on that?
Was it
Yeah,
last
it's
week?
nice.
No, the week before we went to the court. And then of course the judge, Bob Roop,
Mhm.
he was, and he was so interesting to listen to. But they got talking about the Cesar Lorian case and showing us some of the pictures of the crime scene.
Mhm.
I was like, whoa,
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If this is an experience that everybody needs to go through, I'm telling you,
If you qualify.
I'm so impressed with everything that I have learned. So
Good.
impressed.
and spread the wealth.
Very
yeah,
glad to hear that.
we're going to do a big story on it, and we've got already people at the class who want to come in and talk about their experience. And I want to get Captain Dix.
Sure.
He will make the show. That
Sure.
man's crazy.
He does a good job. He
It's
really
crazy.
does a good job for me on that.
Right. He does an excellent job. He makes it fun. He really does.
Now, I don't know whether it's too early to let the cat out of the bag, but I know it, and I guess some readers of the Jacksonville Daily News know it.
I may know it.
You got somebody that's going to be revealing information that you haven't had here before?
Help me, Kelly.
I don't know. What do
Public
you-
information?
I don't know.
Oh,
You hired a
I
new
was like,
public
what is he
information
talking-
officer.
I know. I was like, what is that? What is he
fixed
talking
that
about?
easy
Yeah, I know.
door over here.
I don't know what he was talking
A
about.
new PIO.
Actually,
Cops are
his
the most
first,
paranoid people on earth next to
Well,
drug
I'm
dealers.
just trying to figure out
Well-
what you were about to.
well, you were just
Divulge.
talking about big drug raids, and then
Yeah,
you're talking
I
about
know.
Bill. I'm like, wait, what?
State secrets here.
Yes, Trevor Donnell.
Finally.
He
Yay.
first day was,
That was our
yesterday,
Mhm.
so he's with us now. So we're hoping we can be a little better, making sure information gets to the public. It's a brand new program, and he's going to be helping us get it set up like
Good.
we want.
Yeah.
He'll be doing everything from press releases to branding of the sheriff's office, getting us out more to the public so they'll know what we have, and
Good pick.
doing media releases and freedom of information releases.
Yeah, media releases are cool. They're the public information part about a criminal act or this or that or whatever's going on, a bad thing. That's called news, basically.
Mhm.
That's, you got to have it.
Yep.
But you got to have it in the right way so you don't infringe upon the rights of the bad guys and you don't do that. I mean, it's all sorts of stuff that goes into that from your aspect. But the other stories that are out there,
Mhm. There's a lot of
the
good
western
stuff.
part of North Carolina,
Yep.
the drone program.
Yep.
All of these are great stories, and Trevor can do that because he's got that kind of a background.
he absolutely can.
Former editor of the Jacksonville Daily News, plus all the other newspapers that are connected
Yep.
to that group.
And he seems excited. No, we're definitely excited
he's
to have
excited.
him. So
He's a good guy. Really.
Yes.
That was our vote. That was our vote.
well, okay.
Yeah.
We saw him Friday night at the ball game, and we were just like, "Yay!"
Good.
He
deal.
didn't volunteer it. I just said, I understand.
No.
Congratulations are in order. He deer in headlights for a second.
Same thing I just did. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, but yeah, what is he talking
But
about?
come on. It's kind of like he
I
figures
think
out,
it's a
who are you going to keep this from? Me?
Excellent
Yeah,
selection.
yeah.
Give Tommy a break from trying to post all that stuff.
Well, I've got like 5 people that try to post stuff, and there's a lot of stuff goes in Onslow that the public never really hears about.
Right.
And it's not a public safety issue, but they would probably be very interested
Well,
in
they
hearing
should
about
be.
it. And I just didn't have the personnel to do it.
Now you can keep that boy busy.
And now
Oh,
we
yeah.
should have a good program for it.
Some of those wanted flyers or bolo flyers
All of
that
that.
you have to click on it and blow it up to try to read it
Yep.
and I was like,
Well, we're looking to get a new software system too. It's
Great.
called the Sheriff's app. It's an
Nice.
app you can download on your phone,
Mhm.
and it will do push notifications to you if you sign up for it.
Oh,
You can
I'm there.
you can apply for pistol permits through it. Concealed carry paperwork. You can.
I need to do mine 4 years in
yeah.
advance this time.
Yeah, well, we're stepping up our notification. Is what we're doing. We've had a few people miss, and I'm like, why did
There were
you
2 of them in
miss?
this household.
Yeah, so we're trying to send notifications that the expiration is coming.
Mhm.
But that app, you'll be able to do a lot of self-reporting. It'll have a news section for all our news on it.
Okay, good.
So I'm really hoping to
I
get
like
the
that.
public
Mhm.
more involved with the sheriff's office,
Mhm.
so we can have even better community. So
And Trevor will not be the one who will ever use the word perpetrator in a story.
no, probably not.
Journalists don't do that. So that's the
Probably
good
not.
thing.
So
You can still have the perp walks if you want, but
No, I think
those are
it's
legal now, actually.
I think it's a wonderful thing that y'all
You
have
can't
somebody.
do perp walk no more.
I think it's great that y'all have somebody doing your press releases now and
Yep.
doing your, public information stories and stuff. Because I know that lots of times, like we've discussed it, we've heard something happen, and we have to wait, like a
Yeah.
couple weeks down the road before word gets out. And
I mean,
the word gets out on Facebook, and that's the worst thing in the
Oh,
world
that's the
because
worst thing.
we start people telling us things. We see things that are
Well,
posted
Rayford.
on roadblocks or whatever.
You know that if it's on the internet, it's true,
It's true.
right?
Yeah, right, huh? You ask these ladies how often that I will let that ever get on this air.
Right,
Well,
no,
listen,
we don't
this,
do it.
Facebook is a great source of information, but it is a great source of misinformation
Uh-huh.
too. And it can
Yes.
be, I mean, you look at the Mariah Woods case. We had teams of
Oh my
of
gosh.
deputies and detectives running down crazy stuff
Yeah.
on Facebook just to try to find out what was true or not.
Well, yeah, that's like you had something that happened recently in the county, and I'm sure that you all monitor Facebook because there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook about it, and I'm like, whoo,
Well, the video from Friday's parade incident, I was out of
Yeah,
town and saw
Richlands.
that
Yeah.
someone videoed the arrest of that guy, the mad mama yelling, and the inside of the car with the open container. That was I was out of town and saw. I'm like, oh, what is this? Okay, yeah. So that's on there. I don't know if it's still on there, but that's how I knew about it.
Well,
Yeah.
Bubba,
Yeah.
you're done. I mean, public opinion
I
and
wonder he didn't
the
get beat
physical
up.
evidence
Yeah.
is done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Richlands officers and one of my deputies, Deputy Duggan, were present. They're the
Yeah.
ones that made the arrest. So
Yeah, I saw
What
saw
a
information
crazy-
this morning about it too. So anyway, for last
That
night.
was crazy.
Well, good things like that are coming about. Sheriff's offices, probably when you got started with the sheriff's office, back when they were departments,
they were.
back when the time that sheriffs they walked on a lot of eggshells. The sheriff, because he's elected,
Yep.
making somebody mad because you arrested his son or grandpa, or you've stopped somebody for some offense like driving while impaired.
Mhm.
That used to be a no-no.
I get very few complaints. So
Well, you do now,
for,
I'm sure.
arrests and stuff like that. But yeah, back in the day, it was a little bit more political, I think, for some of the deputies. But I started and I went to BLT here in '86. So I've been doing it quite a while.
Okay.
But things are a lot different now. Of course, this population in this part of the state has grown so much.
Oh, yeah.
that
No.
it's
They
sad.
understand it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember back then. Oh my God, I remember one sheriff in this area
Mhm.
way back when. Way back when. Oh, can't arrest him. No, can't do that. No.
No,
Just take him home.
If it meets the statute, they
Just
do
take
what
him
the
home.
law requires. So
Well, you do talk about where it went from department to office, because I know growing up here, it was always department, but it was Sheriff Miller, Hans Miller, that straightened that out when he became sheriff.
if
It's not a department, it's an office.
yeah, it's like the Office of the Registered Deeds and the clerk's office and the sheriff's office.
Mm-hmm.
We are the elected officials here,
Right.
outside of the commissioners, of course. And the sheriff is in the state constitution.
Yep.
The sheriff's office is,
So-
the sheriff is. So that's why we make that clear that it is an
Definite
office.
distinction.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anything else coming up that we'll read about that Trevor will be putting out later today that we
No,
we can
we-
use now?
We're right in the stages of trying to get Trevor seated in a good spot where he can work.
Okay.
It'll be nice for me to be able to look at our website and actually see the news change on it for occasion. You know, I mean, a lot of times something will be up there and it'll be up there for months. And I'm like, y'all have got to do something different. So it'd be nice for that to be a little fresher.
I think y'all have been doing a great job as it is, but I'm anxious to see what Trevor's going to do.
One of the issues is trying to get something out in a timely fashion. I understand that,
Yes.
but I do know that when in New Hanover County, where
Mhm.
I spent a long time there, they had a deputy assigned to do public affairs, public information, and he was actually monitoring and he was posting the breaking news as things were unfolding that everybody knew about because they were listening to it on their scanners.
Yep.
And they were watching cars speeding up and down the highway. They knew something was going on, but they were asking questions. What?
Yep. Well, Neanderthal actually has a deputy assigned to it. They actually have 3, I think, assigned to it now.
I knew one at that time. I think his
Yeah.
name was Smith.
In Brunswick, they have a former reporter that is their public information.
Mhm.
And I think Trevor's a good fit.
He's going to be a very good fit.
He'll be, once we get everything established, he'll be listening to the radio. And if we have a bad accident somewhere, we'll
That's
be able to
the
get that
point.
out and tell folks,
That's
look,
great.
nobody's hurt, but you might want to avoid so-and-so intersection for the next couple of hours.
Yep.
backed
That's
up.
great.
Try to do stuff like that.
Because the only way we know is
Yep.
Facebook.
Yeah. Oh,
Social
God, I
media.
hate that.
Yeah.
There's an
I
accident.
can't do that. If we got somebody on the scene that
Yeah.
will call in, we will have, what do you see? I can ask them questions.
Yeah.
What do you see? Which lane is blocked? We've done
We'll
that.
be able to
Right.
tell the whole thing. And if we get the app up and running, it will actually notify you.
Good.
You'll get a notification. Hey, there's a crash on Richlands Highway.
Oh, I'm anxious
You know,
for that app.
So
That'll be nice.
we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that too. So, yeah, that'll help us tell the folks and also not
From a-
tell them some of the stupid stuff
From a
that's out there.
legitimate
Yeah.
source, right?
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing.
That's great.
Anything else we got coming up?
Not off the top of my head. Of course, I had to get through this coming election.
You don't have to worry about that. You're going to be reelected this time, no problem.
Yeah, I'm not even on the ballot this time.
That's what I mean.
Next time. But a lot of folks have asked me about security and stuff around the voting sites. We'll be checking on. We've had no threats, no issues that popped up of
You shouldn't
concern.
have, yeah.
Regardless of what your opinion may be, go vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, go vote. If you don't vote, you ain't got a reason to complain, in my view.
Mhm.
Gee, didn't we hear that yesterday?
Yeah, we did. We went through that yesterday. I was taking a
So-
test for that, but
Yeah, but they go vote. I mean,
I can understand somebody, okay, I get to the poll and I have not done due diligence and I'm like, oh, what are these judges things here? Oh my God, what am I going to do with that?
Yeah.
I sometimes I might not, but somebody like me, somebody else who hasn't done due diligence,
mhm.
I don't know anything about them.
If something pops up, particularly in the primary, if something pops up and there's two folks there and I've not done enough research and I'm not comfortable, I may not vote for either one.
Right.
But I try to get a copy of the ballot well before, so I can do a little reading
do
on
I.
it. And
Okay.
honestly, what reading I don't do on it, my wife does. So she
Oh,
so she reads on it too. So we
She's
try to
smart
make an
lady.
informed decision.
And the other thing about that is, in these races where in your case, as a sheriff, you're not going to have but one choice to vote in the general election, one, and that's it. But in other races, you may vote for 4. Doesn't mean you have to.
Mm-hmm.
It also means you can't vote for 5. That will be erased.
Yep.
They're done.
Yep.
But if you do not have to vote for 4, folks. A lot of people.
And you
they
don't
say-
have to vote for if you come across, like, say, Department Commissioner of Agriculture, and you don't know either one, you don't want to vote for either one, skip it. You can go on, and
Yeah,
your
you
ballot
can do that.
still will be valid.
Yeah, it will be a valid ballot.
Yep.
But if you vote for both, that your whole ballot not eliminated, but that section will be eliminated.
Right.
If you vote for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, that's not going to count.
No, they'll
Right.
throw that one away.
Right.
But you can say to your friends, "I voted, but I didn't know who to vote for, so I voted for both." If that's what you want to do, I don't care. Just go to the polls.
It's like you say, that ones that you can vote for, you have 6 running, you can vote for 4.
Mhm.
You don't have to. You can vote for 1 if that's what you
That's
want to
That's
do.
right.
You
That's
just can't
right.
vote for 5.
Slingshot
If
it.
you know one and you don't know the others, you don't know anything about them, vote for the one you know that you like.
I do want to make a correction on something. We were talking a couple of weeks back about, I was telling you that there was people saying they were going to write in somebody for governor. There is no write-in option available
No,
for
there's not.
governor. So I think
Okay,
for president
y'all.
is the only one you can write.
Folks,
somebody
for
in.
governor, do
No,
not
I'm
put my
sorry.
name down there.
It was soil and water conservation. There is a write-in on that one, and that's it.
Did they have any people running?
Yes, they have one. Barbara
kidding.
Rook,
Yeah.
Justice, I think her name was.
I need to
and,
see. I don't even know what that.
and nobody
You know
does.
how I can be
Okay.
elected, right?
Oh Lord.
In a year like this,
No,
legally change my name in advance and register under my new name.
none of the above.
That's it. There are so many races out there that I probably would win if I did that.
Well, I hear people on different ballots that
Yes.
I just don't want to. Well, sometimes you have to pick the
Sometimes,
lesser.
unfortunately, you have to hold your nose sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those cases this time.
Jesus Christ is not on the ballot anywhere, so
Nope.
you're not going to find any perfect person there.
Yep.
Done.
Right.
I just make that
You're going to
very
have to
clear.
go with vote on who you think is going to be able to get our economy straight again.
Now, when you get, if you start looking for supplies again to take up there to the mountains, like shelters or whatever for the
Mhm.
winter time, we have a collection here already.
Oh, do you?
I thought you
Okay.
were getting ready to go again.
So she
No,
brought in some
we're
stuff.
I
not,
brought
but
some stuff.
I will have you a place to give it to this
Okay.
afternoon.
That's good.
I'll get a place. There's a group in one of the warehouses down on the other side of town
All right.
that they're going to take some donations and actually sort it,
And they're legitimate.
and they're legitimate.
Okay,
and
you
then
just let me know and I'll
yeah,
take it to
I'll
them.
get them. I'll get them
Okay.
for you.
Well, you,
Yep.
you might see her tonight.
Yep. Yep.
Well-
I will be there tonight. So
Well, it'd be in the back of my truck tonight,
Yeah.
so,
Well, you
yeah,
can
just let me
just
know
tell-
and I'll take it to them. I
I will.
appreciate that.
I will.
I thought that you were
I've got
going
to
again,
run,
so,
guys.
Okay, I know you have.
yes, you're
Hey, look,
busy.
I really enjoyed it this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
I
much
look
for all
forward to
you do.
seeing it and then hearing you live at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be there.
We live on Facebook and YouTube right now, but we will be live on
Yeah, on the radio.
other sources here shortly.
Excellent. All right.
So you can drive down the highway and listen to us.
There you go. And that's how I usually listen.
There, here you go.
Thank you,
All right,
Sheriff.
Sheriff
Y'all have a good
Thomas,
morning.
thank you,
You
sir.
too.
Be safe. Always a pleasure. Always a
Oh,
pleasure.
always.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. You're live and local Real Talk.
Vice Chairman of the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. I am known to speak my mind candidly, truthfully, and bluntly on issues that affect everyone within our county, regardless of political affiliation, religious beliefs, gender, race. I am not afraid to tackle tough issues like lowering our tax rate and appropriate funding for our EMS, firefighters, public safety, mental health, and domestic abuse issues. I fully support our county employees, and I feel this is a staff that is the glue that holds Onslow County together. I have shown strong and consistent leadership and will not be influenced by others, and I will vote my conscience, always in the best interest of our citizens and not for a particular group, regardless of rhetoric. I love Onslow County and her citizens, and I appreciate your vote and support. May God bless America, Onslow County, and all of you. Vote to re-elect Robin Knapp for Commissioner, a voice for the citizens. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Robin Knapp.
All right, that was Robin Knapp, of course, sitting on the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. He's the vice chair.
That's right.
I
I moved again. You can turn this
Yeah, I
one.
get
Thank
that
you.
microphone, yeah. The moving microphone lady.
I know. I just need one I can just clip to my shirt.
I need to get one of those magic mics. You know, remember those?
You
magic-
can bring in Magic Mike anytime you want to. Yeah.
What?
We'll be all about Magic Mike coming in. Come on.
What's magic mic?
Oh,
The ladies know.
The ladies know. That's right.
I was
Magic
thinking
Mike.
about the microphone that. Oh, it was Mr. Mike, Mr. Microphone, right? Remember that thing?
I had one of those. Well, for my
Really?
daughter, I bought her one for
And you used it.
until I took a hammer to it.
That
That was the most annoying toy
those days
ever
of
made.
Mr. Microphone. It would transmit into any radio. You could pick the radio frequency that you
Mhm.
wanted, an unused frequency, of course, and it would transmit to that, and you could sit there and sing and carry on. You had for 30, 40-foot
I thought
range.
you were talking about the one that talked.
No,
What was the name of that? Was it Mr. Microphone?
No,
The
Mr.
listeners,
Mr.
Jonah.
Microphone was like a karaoke thing, but
Oh.
it was going into a radio station. Go to a radio set, an FM station.
oh, this one I was talking about. Maybe it was Mr. Game Show host or something. I forget.
I have no clue.
Oh man, whatever it was, I remember destroying that
Oh,
thing.
okay, okay.
It was-
3 weeks and counting from today, election day 24. Early voting is already underway in some areas, and North Carolina voters will get a shot at voting early beginning Thursday. It'll be open Thursday and Friday this week from 8 until 7:30.
That's correct.
8 until 7:30, and on
7:30,
Saturday this weekend
8 to
from
3.
8 until 3 o'clock. And
Yes.
then it will kind of repeat over the next week or two.
Right.
So there are places you can vote. If you don't know where they are, go to the Board of Elections, and we will tell you periodically.
Yes.
Obviously, here in Jacksonville area, there are two easiest places to get to: the Board of Elections itself
Yes.
and the
And the
Commons.
Commons Recreation Center.
Yeah, lots of avails over there, so you can go
Yes.
over there. And Richlands is at the museum,
The museum, Onslow County Museum.
and in Swansboro,
Swansboro is the
Oh God, recreation center. I have to look it
Yeah,
up.
somewhere. But anyway,
That's-
there's one place in Swansburg. There's another place in Sneeds Ferry. That's
Right.
at the museum there.
No. You know what? I have to go back and
Okay.
look because
Lee will fix it for me. So anyway, you do have a
I had it all down and in my head, and then you ask, and I'm like, okay.
Get the memory banks going.
Because there is a difference on some of the polling locations that move on election day.
Yeah, the Holly Ridge is also one, right?
No,
Nope.
No.
Just have to go to Sneeds Ferry for Holly
Sneeze
Ridge.
Ferry, and I'm gonna tell you right quick here.
Okay, so Swansboro, Sneeds Ferry, Richlands.
I just wanna
and,
tell you the
two places in
exact-
Jacksonville.
Voting dates and times. Okay. The Onslow County Board of Elections have redone their website, and I just want to say kudos. It's excellent.
Really?
All right, voting locations, Board of Elections Office,
Got it.
which is on Georgetown Road. Sneeze Ferry Public Library.
That's the one.
Yeah,
not the
Public Library. The Commons, the Onslow County Museum in Richlands, and Swansboro is the Recreation Center.
Recreation Center. in
That's what I
Swansboro. That's what I
thought.
was getting confused about.
And see, now that will move, the Recreation Center will move, I'm pretty sure, from there to the Rotary
You're
building
talking about on the
on election day. I
Okay, forget
think that one
now.
will move,
That's
but
in-
right now,
Yeah, that's in 3 weeks.
right. And then usually the Public Library in Sneeze Ferry moves also,
The
but
last day to vote.
We'll let you know.
Early voting is going to be the Saturday before the election.
that is correct. I believe that's November 2nd.
I don't know.
Yes, November 2nd.
So get yourselves ready. Do your homework. Go to your Board of Elections, Onslow County Board of Elections.
Right.
Google, put your name in there, and find out exactly what district you're in.
November
And
2nd,
in case you
right.
don't know,
And if you have problems pulling up your registration, send me a message. I'll pull it up for you and
yeah,
send it
it's
to you.
easy, and it will tell you where you can vote
Right.
in the general election. It will also tell you what district you're in for the North Carolina House.
That's
'Cause
right.
that's the key
'Cause
here in
It's
Onslow
three
County.
different districts in Onslow County,
That's right.
14, 15, and
And if
16.
you're registered in the wrong one, you live in the wrong one, you moved and you didn't change, well, you might want to get that cleared up.
right.
You cannot register to vote now. If you haven't registered to vote already,
I
you're
think one
too late.
stop voting you can.
You can, but that's may or may not count. It depends upon whether you can get certified or not.
Oh, it's a
They-
provisional ballot.
Yeah, they have to run through the process.
Yes.
So anyway, that's coming up.
Anyway, it's all easy to do.
Early voting begins on Thursday here in Onslow County. Other areas across the state, I don't know. I think it's all across North Carolina.
I
early
will
voting
tell
has
you in
begun,
Watauga County,
except out yonder.
in Watauga County, they're opening up Sundays 1 to 5.
Oh, okay.
To
good.
those 2 Sundays are opening
Yeah, I
up 1
saw
to 5.
some Board of
So
Election stuff where they're doing have done some changes.
I think they said there was only 5 out of 80 polls within the mountain area where
Mm-hmm.
it was so much destruction that they're that were not available, but they're reassessing and they're moving them, whatever. But yeah, they're going to be out there for
Okay,
you.
okay.
And for those that have no idea at all, you
No
can-
ID.
no ID. You can fill out a special form, and they're going to work with everybody to make sure everyone gets that opportunity
Yes.
to vote.
And speaking of ID, not idea, ID, you got to have one.
Yes.
The Board of Election site will tell you what you got to have. Here in North Carolina, your military ID card
Right.
is good. Your driver's license, as long as it's not expired or it expired less than a year. I don't know. There's something provision there. You can check the Board of Elections site and find out what IDs you can use. Those are the 2 primary ones.
Right. I'm
There
gonna
may
have to
be
go to-
there are some others, but they're not exactly your high school ID. I don't think is going to be one of them. And that will also, yeah. And just for your sake, make sure you're registered. But your military ID does not include your address. So if you've moved and you're not living where you were before when you registered, they may ask you a question or two. Doesn't mean you won't be able to vote. Means some things you'll have to jump through some hoops, and you will get a provisional ballot.
All right, here it is. Acceptable
There-
photo
I knew I
IDs
would
for
stall
voting.
long enough for you to get it up.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, North Carolina driver's license,
Mhm.
acceptable. State ID from the NCDMV, which is
the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles.
That's one of those IDs that you
Yes.
can get free of charge if
Free.
you don't have a driver's license.
That's right. It's called a non-operator ID.
Yep.
Driver's license or non-driver ID from another state, District of Columbia, or U.S. territory, only if the voter is registered in North Carolina within 90 days of election. So if you came in and it's 90 days prior to the election and you have registered here, but you have a driver's license or a non-driver ID, like we just talked about, from another state, you can use that.
Mhm.
U.S. passport or U.S. passport card.
Yes.
North Carolina voter photo ID card issued by the County Board of Elections. So you can get a free voter card with your photo on it if you go down to the Board of Elections.
I assume there's still plenty of time to do that, but
Right.
anyway, I know they're going to be busy, so hopefully
Right.
you've already done it.
College or university student ID that is approved by the State Board of Elections. And
Not
I know
all
there
are
was some
necessarily
controversy
approved.
over one of the colleges recently, but they've
Mhm.
straightened that out. State or local government or charter school employee ID approved by the State Board of Elections. So if you're using something like that, you need to make sure it's approved. All right. And any of the following, regardless of whether the ID contains an expiration or issuance date. Military or veterans ID card.
Right.
With the photo issued by the U.S. government. A tribal enrollment card with photo issued by a tribe recognized by the state of North Carolina or the federal government. So, we know what that means. ID card with photo issued by an agency of the U.S. government or the state of North Carolina for a public assistance program. Okay. So, and like I said, free photo ID cards can be obtained at the County Board of Elections. You can go down to the NCDMV and have a
Sure. Now, you're going to have to
non-operator.
prove who you are
Right.
when you go there.
Right.
All right. So you got to understand that. You can't just walk in and say, I'm Joe Johnson. I'd like to have a photo ID card with my name and address on it.
Right.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah. Now there is ID exceptions. The voter has a reasonable impediment to showing photo ID. This means that something is preventing the voter from showing ID. The voter must provide their reason by selecting from the following choices on the form. All right. Number 1, lack of transportation. 2, disability or illness. Lack of birth certificate or other documents needed to obtain the ID. Excuse me.
My goodness.
I know that sounded rough, didn't it? Lack of birth certificate or other ID documents. We got that right. Work or school schedule, family responsibilities, photo ID is lost, stolen, or misplaced. Applied for a photo ID but have not received it yet. For male voters only, we're talking U.S. mail, not mail. Unable to attach a copy of photo ID, voter must include driver's license number or last 4 digits of social
Mail
security
ID
number.
as in me type?
No, as mail, U.S. mail, postal mail.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Other reasonable impediment, if selected, the voter must write the reason on the form. State or federal law prohibits voter from listing the reason. Wow, that's an interesting
Yeah, that's
one.
going to be a mess.
Or the voter has a religious objection to being photographed. And number 3, the voter was a victim of a natural disaster within 100 days before the election day that resulted in a disaster declaration by the President of the United States or the Governor of North Carolina. That is interesting
Mhm.
because why would you?
They may not have their ID if there's stuff in the web.
Oh, well, I
mountains.
understand that, but I mean, why would you just not have some form of ID? It seems like to me,
You wake up in the middle of the night and your pants and your wallet are washed away.
well, that's true, but I'm talking on a normal basis. On a normal basis, why would you not go and obtain, at least go down to DMV and get a
Well, you need to
non-operator's
do that. You
license?
should
My
do
mother
that.
had one for years after she quit driving. So we always made sure she had some kind of ID on her, but they're not hard to get. And it's just a shame that we have to go through so much
Yeah.
in order to get someone to vote. It's crazy.
We want to make sure that the not the right people, but the legal people are voting. There are so many
Right.
people out there. Virginia is being sued by the Department of Justice right now because they are along with I think 2 or 3 other states have said that we are purging our registrations And those people who are non-citizens are not eligible to vote. You got that, right?
Right.
But they're purging non-citizens. But these are supposed to be done. There's a deadline for purging, and it's 90 days prior to the election. I think it's 90 for the federal government. And the DOJ said Virginia's doing it now, just weeks away from the election, and they can't do that. Well, I'm one who wants everybody who can vote to be able to vote, but those who are not supposed to be able to vote because they're not legal or whatever, they shouldn't be able to vote, or maybe they're just non-citizens. However, they found out that in a lot of cases, when it comes time to purge, and this is one of the reasons you need to check your voter registration from time to time to make sure you are still registered, because accidents do happen. There are computers out there, and when what we think of those. We love them and we hate them, but there are some people, a certain percentage, a fairly significant percentage of some people were purged who were legitimate voters in one state. That's why the DOJ is filing suit. So Virginia, Alabama, I think was another one. Y'all need to have gotten your acts together a lot earlier. North Carolina went through a voter purge,
Yes, they did.
but they did it within the guidelines of the federal government. So that's the thing.
Excuse me.
Marine Outlook brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Oh, you've heard us talk about prevention a lot. The word prevention is in Community Prevention Services for a reason. It's an important word that we should think about in a lot of situations. There's a lot of information about planning for a major emergency. That happens. We know that. We know a hurricane is coming or the season is here. We start making plans for it, right? Just in
Right.
case.
Exactly.
How about information on how to deal with an emergency close to home? What have you been told about the less obvious, but oftentimes the more frequent issues facing more and more of our family members every day? You know there are problems. You can feel them. You see the signs. You might not be able to identify or isolate what those problems are exactly, but you just know. Now what? A question that so many families have to deal with. Now what? No doubt you don't want to do anything that will have a negative impact on your loved one. I understand that. You should understand that. But I have a question. What if your loved one has no future other than a box and a plot ahead of them? Would you not want to jump in?
Yes.
Jumping in later,
After
we
the
hear
fact,
about that
yeah.
a lot. Oh, I knew this was going on and I just didn't think I should do anything. I didn't say anything. What if something could have been done to prevent a tragic situation? Maybe a month, 6 months, a year earlier. When did your family first see something was amiss? Hoping for a change without intervention? Yeah, that can happen, but it's not always possible. While there are some who know they have a problem and they recognize it and they actually seek help, the vast majority need a kind of a kick in the backside. We know you can lead them to water, but they will never drink a single drop without some positive influence. You force their face down, it ain't going to happen. You harass them, it's not going to happen. You belittle them, it's not going to happen. You nag them, it ain't going to happen. This is where the folks at Community Prevention Services come in. A staff of trained counselors are there to assist. Locally owned, not a chain operation, only in business for the big bucks. They're located at 918 Henderson Drive in Jacksonville. You'll be happy to know that they accept most insurance plans too. Give them a call today for an appointment, 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972. Offshore today, looking pretty decent. Northerly winds 5 to 10 knots,
Good.
becoming northwesterly this afternoon. Seas only 2 to 3 feet. 3-foot waves from the west every 6 seconds is far enough apart to make it palatable. Sounds and rivers, a light chop. Wednesday kicking up just a little bit. Northerly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25, seas 3 to 4, 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy. And on Thursday, winds again from the north 15 to 20, gusts to 25, diminishing though in the afternoon 10 to 15. Seas around 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop in the afternoon.
All right. And today, this beautiful day will be sunny with a high near 69. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low around 49. Wednesday, a slight chance of showers in the morning, mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 60. Wednesday night, clear with a low around 38.
How do you define rhetoric? We hear all the time about political rhetoric. What what would you
gosh.
call it?
Garbage.
Okay. So you're being polite. BS is the other word.
I'm trying to be polite, yes.
Candidates for office all over the nation are grasping at straws these days, hoping to convince potential voters that they actually have our backs, that they are just like us. Donald Trump is still being Trump, making no bones about who he is, about what he stands for, about what he likes and doesn't like. Mostly he doesn't like his opposition, Kamala Harris. He's always been that way.
Right.
He belittles those who oppose him.
It was bad this weekend.
He's called her, among some rather unpleasant things, two-faced. Personally, I don't understand how he can say that. We learned a week or so back that she owns a Glock semi-automatic handgun, and she claims that she has owned it for, in her words, some time,
Yeah.
adding that she thought it necessary because of her background in law enforcement. To refresh your memory, she was a district attorney in California's Attorney General before she became a U.S. Senator. During a news interview, she fessed up to owning the gun and said that if anyone broke into her home, she would shoot them. Okay, kind of like what a whole lot of us would say, right?
Yes.
She's trying to be one of us. Is she trying to
Yes.
reach my level here? The difference in her and me is I hope that she doesn't accidentally shoot the 15-year-old next door neighbor who accidentally broke into her home or walked into her unlocked doors drunk as he was walking into his house. He got the wrong house. Is she telling the world now in an election year that she is a gun owner to get acceptance from the folks she has so offended over the years? She made it perfectly known that she's against citizens having guns. She did that for years while she campaigned as a district attorney and the AG's office. Of course, like so many politicians, she keeps flip-flopping around. She says what she wants me to hear. Her latest, a last-ditch effort to win the minority vote. In a campaign released Monday, Harris detailed what she calls an opportunity agenda for black men. Is this racist?
Why do we
Maybe
have
it's
to bring
racist and
those-
sexist.
Right.
She says she plans to help black men achieve the opportunity to get ahead, to thrive, that's her words, by equipping them with the tools to achieve financial freedom, lower costs to better provide for themselves and their families, and protect their rights. Okay, she's got a plan at least. She has provided no details on how to secure our border, but apparently thinks this plan will take care of the other problem facing Americans, the economy. Well, a small segment of the public. Black men, African Americans overall are 15%, generally speaking, of the U.S. population. Black men are half of that, perhaps. The proposals in this case include providing 1 million loans that are, she says, fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. I don't know what the others are. Championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Those are her words, not mine. Also highlighted by the campaign is a regulatory framework to protect black men's investments in cryptocurrency and other digital assets, a health equity initiative focused on black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them, and the creation of opportunities for black Americans in the recreational marijuana industry.
Interesting.
Let it sink in. Well, at least she has provided an outline for her plan. No real details. just an outline. Some are scratching their heads and asking what I'm asking. Where's the money for these handouts? These are handouts. She said they're forgivable. Forgivable means you don't got to pay them back, y'all. These are handouts. Where is the money going to come from for these handouts? You cannot tax the wealthy, but so much, because there ain't that many wealthy in this country, not according to the wealth standards. Higher taxes on corporations, something we hear about, will only drive up the prices for the products that we need,
That's true.
that the rest of Americans
That's
have to
true.
buy,
That's
including
true.
those black males. Lady,
Very true.
maybe she should increase the federal tax on gasoline. Oh, yeah. More retail price increases at the grocery store coming from that if it happens.
And have you noticed gas prices have gone up the past week about 20 cents?
15 cents per gallon from the last time I filled up
Yeah.
at Sam's until yesterday. 15 cents.
Is it going back down?
It went up by 15 cents.
I knew that because I know the
as of
station.
yesterday.
Oh, well, the station I usually visit went up 20 cents.
No, the Sam's went up 15 cents.
Yeah. I need to get gas.
I've shied away from nitpicking Harris during her campaign. I've waited for her to come up with some sort of magic plan that would cause Americans to say, finally, someone with a plan. If this is the best she's got, then we're in trouble. Biden should have pulled out of the race a year ago so that viable Democrats could step up and give Americans an alternative to another 4 years of Donald Trump, because that's what Americans say they want. I don't think she's the alternative. I'm not so down on Donald. It's just that I see nothing but 4 more years of a nagging, crying Democrat Party who will continue to do everything they can to undermine any Republican who runs. Donald Trump just happens to be at the top of the GOP pile.
Let me ask you a question. You have to be very honest with your
Got to
answer.
have some water.
You're going to you're already thinking in your head who you're going to vote for. But you get to one section where neither candidate you like, neither candidate you agree with. You feel like maybe one of the candidates was forced upon you. What do? How are you going to vote?
I'm going to try to put away all of the negativity from both candidates and find out if I can find anything positive. I will forget all of the political BS.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
All of this campaigning that's going on right now, the name calling, both sides are doing it. The name calling, the backstabbing. I will see if they have anything positive to offer, if they have any history of anything positive. What has Donald Trump done that's positive in his history?
Well, that looks like Royce. Let me see. I think it may be or maybe Chris. I can't see the
I
list.
can't either. I'm going to turn this thing around where I can see
Okay,
it,
let
since
me
y'all can't
see.
see it from over there.
It's Chris Marks.
Chris, what has Donald Trump done that's
Paper.
positive?
What is Donald Trump's what, Richard?
What has he done that
Good
is
morning.
positive that would cause you to vote for him? Forget all negativity. Forget the political gas. Forget everything else that you've heard. Forget everything. Except tell me what he's done in your mind that is positive that would cause you to want to vote for him.
Because he's going to do again what he did in between 2016 and 2020.
And that was?
He got the economy straightened out. Everybody's prices were better. People can say what they want, but taxes were better. Take out COVID, he would have gotten reelected. You take out the things that people have gone back to for 30 years ago. But bottom line is, everything he ran for, he accomplished.
Okay.
Everything. And he started building the border.
Mhm.
He started building the border. So, what I don't like he did is tweeted too much, okay? Get off the Twitter account and do your job. But let me tell you this. In my mind, he made the Russias, the Chinas, the North Koreans fear us. But he accomplished everything he said he would do. That's what people don't understand. Gas prices were lower. That's a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know that.
Prices were lower for that. So,
What is,
he
let's look on the other side now. If you were, if you had no choice, if you were looking at both and looking at what have they accomplished, forget the negativity, forget all the political rhetoric and the stuff that I pull up from both of them from time to time. Forget his tweets, forget his brashness, forget his calling Kamala Harris names. I forgot all the names he called her, but he's called her a bunch. Forget all of that sort of good stuff. Forget about his brashness, as some call his New York attitude. Forget about that. Okay, and then do the same thing for her. Forget all the negativity. Forget this or forget that. Just look at policies or look at what she has accomplished or look at what her policies that have been from day one, what she has said and what her accomplishments are. And we've heard what you said about Trump. So talk to me about Kamala Harris. I guess crickets are in order.
Okay. No, seriously. So what has she done?
Where's my cricket?
What has she done?
In a positive way. Keep it as positive as you can.
No, I will keep it very positive. Nothing. Now, when I say that, I say it with facts and logic. Now, you go back to her time as Attorney General in California. Okay? She was against most things that had to do with police, in so much as what the police thought would help themselves, going to the body cams and things. Okay? Now, we've all been in courtrooms before. I cannot see where an attorney general sitting on a bench is getting to talk to a defendant and go, "How you doing? How you doing?" You know, if that was me, I would go, "Your Honor, with all due respect, not too good because I'm standing down here in front of you. How do you think I'm doing?" Anyway, she did not help the citizens. I know you said be positive, so I'm going to say who was positive to. She was positive for the Black Lives Matter because she was donating to them when the George Floyd incident happened in Minnesota. Okay, so yes, she helped them.
Well, she helped. She came to the aid of Jussie Smollett.
Yes.
Jussie.
See, whatever his name is.
Yes, Jussie Smollett.
But he's the one who faked his little thing, and I believe, is that the one you got?
That's the one.
Yeah, okay.
The white guys beat him up.
Yeah, because he made up something. Okay, well, let's see. What else has she done? I had a list somewhere of all her accomplishments, actually.
Fairly short
It wasn't
list.
very long, but it was what has she done recently? Everybody knows the vice president's job is to meet with foreign leaders and to give advice to the president, whoever, that president. Now, she's disagreeing with things that JB did in his 4 years. But as vice president, why wouldn't you talk to him and convince him he's wrong? Did she?
I don't know that they had
she do-
conversations from the day that they were sworn in almost 4 years ago. I don't know that they ever had conversations.
Okay. Now, on a positive note, okay, she handled the border by going inside other countries to see what their problem is. And then we still have, right now, according to the U.S. border, we have 2,500 illegal immigrants and foreigners coming into our country every day. That's 10,000 a month. That's more than that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it's way more than that. I was doing it by a week. But honestly, I don't know. And I tell you what, she is doing positive right now. What her plans are. Okay, she's going to reduce drug prices, which has already happened for seniors on insulin. Okay, we've talked about this. She's going to tax the highest, tax the wealthiest. She's talking about billionaires, right?
Yep.
Rayford, you asked a good question. I believe you asked a question a few moments ago. How many billionaires are in the United States right now?
Ain't that many.
I'll tell you, you're right. 756. And you know what their tax rate is right now?
31%.
It's not. How much?
31%, I think. I don't know.
Close.
Okay.
23.
Okay.
23%. Okay, not 8.2 like JB has been saying. Okay, so there's 756 people she's going to raise taxes on. All right, she's going to build 3 million new homes. Ha ha ha. Homes are being built in Jacksonville, North Carolina right now. We have plenty of homes. But who's she going to put in them?
Those who come across the border because they opened the border?
Okay, some people might find that as and there are, don't get me wrong, there are people who think that it's a positive thing. But again, as having a grandfather, God rest his soul, who came from Italy back in the 20s and went to Ellis Island the legal way.
Yep.
There are over, I believe it's 3 million people in our country. 3,356,000,000 people in our country.
Something like that. 325, 350.
Okay. And of that, she is going to give tax breaks to the middle class.
Which is the majority.
52%. Very good. 52%. So they're going to get some kind of tax break. This and they go, well, let me ask you and Lee this, because you're both very smart people in my book. I know you, Rayford, you're going to say NFL. Some people.
One of us is.
Whatever.
Yeah, one of us is.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. And then I can tell them what the right one is. When the U.S. statistics, are doing the small business success of small businesses. Now, would you say that number changes every year or stays the same every year?
Okay, you mean percentage of
Success rate.
yeah.
Does it change every year or does it stay the
I
same
never thought about it.
year in and year out?
I'm going to guess it sort of is stable. It should be, if not increasing.
So-
you should be getting either staying the same or getting better, but I don't know what it's doing.
Okay. So the success rate, I'm trying to pull it up to be very, very factual about this, but I'm going to use numbers I believe were in my head. For the first year, the success rate is somewhere around 20%.
25% for new businesses, you mean?
In the
Okay.
first year.
Yep.
33% after 5 years. I'm sorry, 65% after 5 years. 30-something% after 10 years. And this is who she's going to help.
Mm-hmm.
These people are going to start a new business. Now, in today's world where brick and mortar stores are having a hard time, what small businesses can make it?
Small businesses.
Considering Rayford?
We're talking about hamburger places?
No, oh my goodness, no. They won't change we're fast food alley on Western Boulevard. We all know that.
Yep.
Small businesses like bakeries.
Yep.
I don't see it making it. I don't.
Well,
Because
we've seen a couple around here go. They come and they go and change names. They move on, and I don't know. Is there a need for them? I don't know. We got sometimes there's so much competition, like at the Walmarts or whatever. Not putting them down, or the grocery stores have bakery shops in them now. So good old standalone bakeries are almost a thing of the past. But they shouldn't be,
No.
because they're specialists.
Does anybody remember places like Bill White Sporting Goods, Bobby Simpson?
Yeah.
I do.
Um,
Bought my first
Okay.
first scuba gear from Bobby Simpson.
They don't exist anymore because
Nope.
of what? The Dick's.
Yep.
Sporting goods stores, the Walmarts, the Targets,
And
I'm not
the online leisure pros and all that sort of good stuff that are out there. I can go online and buy it for 25% less.
Sure. Lee will tell you from her days as a postmaster. I'm very sure that the postal carriers disliked Prime Days.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So my point is, once again, she is targeting certain groups that she says she's going to help. So compare that to Trump. He's going to help all Americans.
Yep.
All Americans. All Americans buy gas. All Americans buy food. All Americans, for the most part, would like to not have the border open the way it is. So I'm not taking any of the negatives away. When I said the things about Kamala, they're because she doesn't, she's targeting groups that she's going to help, but she really has not had a platform yet. Tomorrow night, she's supposed to go on Fox News and do an interview.
Huh?
People
God
have,
help her.
yeah, 6 o'clock.
Can't
Now,
wait for this.
The question is, because already the New York Times it says to a not friendly network, not a very nice network. But the
They're
question
going to
is,
ask her questions, right?
they're going to ask her questions, but that's the reason they're not nice is because they're not going to soften them up and they're going to press her. Or are they? There's the other question. Are they going to press her?
I think I depend. Is Brett Baer going to do it? So,
Terry, I
Oh.
can't,
oh, well.
I'm sorry.
There's probably just is probably just about the only really,
News person,
he's very,
non-commentator.
yes.
So to give you your time so you two can wrap things up and not have to have me as the one wrapping things up. Here's
Like a
the thing
fireman.
is this. I'm sorry.
Since you're like a fireman, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just I have these I'll call them debates with people online, and they don't use logic and facts, or they say my fact is Reuters, BBC, NRP, MOUSE. I go to the government for facts, which is not very reliable either. But what is she doing right now as vice president of the Senate? I'm sure she's staying in contact. She's flying from here to there to everywhere.
She's campaigning as hard as she can, trying to act like she's one of the common people. No, she's not. She is not.
No.
Coming out and telling me that she's owned a Glock for a bunch of years, quite some time, is the way she put it. And therefore, she's like me. She's a gun owner. No, you're not. I don't think.
Okay.
I wonder if she's ever even fired it. You can't tell me just because you're going to come sit down and meet me at the barbecue shop and go have some barbecue sandwich with me too, that you want me. No, you probably never had a barbecue sandwich from North Carolina in your life. You to sit down and tell me that you're going to have a cheap glass of wine, like it's what I would be drinking, and instead of your highfalutin champagne, whatever. No, you're not one of me. No.
And so when you asked take all the negative ways and all the positive ways. And you've heard me say this before. I'll say it one more time again for anyone that doesn't understand how people live their lives as far as how they identify themselves. I could care less. If you keep it in your house, I keep mine in my house.
There you go.
Simple as that. However, when you're using tax dollars to give prisoners things, okay, now that's affecting.
Yep.
So,
My money.
yeah, money leaves money, America's money.
Yeah.
So the difference is you have a man who says he's helping all Americans. You have a woman who is targeting who she wants to help. When she says she's going to help all Americans, then I'll give it some thought.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough time because she doesn't either.
And show
So
me
having
how.
said that, yeah, show
Chris?
me how.
Thank you, Chris. Always.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Chris.
You're live and local real talk. Don't go away. We will be right back.
Hello, Onslow County. This is your Senator Michael Lazaro. As election season approaches, I want to take a moment to reflect on the progress we've made together and share my vision for the future. I fought for better schools, secured funding for infrastructure, and ensured our veterans get the support they deserve. We've strengthened our local economy, creating jobs and opportunities for our families. But there's more work to be done, like making health care for our veterans more affordable and protecting our beautiful coastline. I believe in a transparent government that listens to your concerns. I've held town halls, heard your voices, and will keep fighting for what matters most to you. This November, I'm asking for your support to keep Onslow County moving forward. Together, we can build a brighter future for our children and families. Thank you for your trust and support.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect Mike Lazar to the North Carolina Senate.
I am Robin Knapp, the current Vice Chairman of the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. I am known to speak my mind candidly, truthfully, and bluntly on issues that affect everyone within our county, regardless of political affiliation, religious beliefs, gender, race. I am not afraid to tackle tough issues like lowering our tax rate and appropriate funding for our EMS, firefighters, public safety, mental health, and domestic abuse issues. I fully support our county employees, and I feel this is a staff that is the glue that holds Onslow County together. I have shown strong and consistent leadership and will not be influenced by others, and I will vote my conscience always in the best interest of our citizens and not for a particular group, regardless of rhetoric. I love Onslow County and her citizens, and I appreciate your vote and support. May God bless America, Onslow County, and all of you. Vote to re-elect Robin Knapp for Commissioner, a voice for the citizens. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Robin Knapp.
Okay, we're up, wrapping up this day here. We got a couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, I just we had a listener text us last night, message us, and I just went in to verify everything. Mark Robinson, our lieutenant governor, is supposed to be having a news conference at 9 a.m. this morning. It'll be live somewhere on some kind of platform, but he's going to discuss his thing he's got going against CNN for the information that they put out, claiming that he was on all these social media sites in the past.
So he's going to deny it.
And I have no clue what it's going to be about, but I'm sure we'll be able to pick up on it later and listen to what he's got to say. But he's supposed to be making a news conference, doing a news conference in reference to the accusations that CNN put out against him. So going to be interesting. We'll have to
Did they
see what
put out
happens.
accusations? Did they put out what they found to be facts? That's all I want to know. Is it
Yes.
factual or not? Mr. Lieutenant Governor, did whatever they say, was it factual or not? And if it's factual, you got an excuse. It's legal.
Yes. Well, let me ask you something.
It's legal. So
Going back to your opinion and being honest.
me, I've got an opinion.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about? Okay, let's just put it out there. He's Mark Robinson, Lieutenant Governor. He's running for governor. All right, using him as an example. If you learned that he made comments 20 years ago on a social media platform that are not portraying him in a great light these days, a good light these days, would you hold that against him? 20 years ago.
Couple of things. One, what were the comments?
Mhm.
Were they anti-government? Were they let's see, guys, girls, people
Right.
tell jokes amongst themselves
Yes, they do.
that
Yes,
they really do
we
not
do.
want to be out in the public eye, right?
Right.
If every joke that you'd ever told that was off-colored in one way or the other
Right.
were to ever come out, and I know you worked at the post office, so I know what went on back there.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
And pretty much in any real honest to
Right.
goodness business arrangement, so much stuff happens that if I held something against you that you said back then, or an off-color joke, or a laughing at an off-color joke, or whatever, then I doubt very seriously if there's more than 3 people in the entire United States of America that I wouldn't hold something against.
That's a very good point.
Show me one. Show me somebody who has not said stupid stuff. Give me one.
I agree. And you know what? The people that are criticizing, if you looked into their closets, you would probably find the same or worse. Or let me ask you this: if the candidate was 5 issues in his platform, and one of the issues you disagreed with completely, would that keep you from voting for him?
Depends upon what the issue was.
Right.
If he's running on a platform and one of his issues was, I'm going to make fishing illegal everywhere in
Well,
North
he's
Carolina.
not getting your vote for sure.
I mean, you're going to have to be a little clearer than that.
Right,
You understand, more
right.
specific. But if he would come on, so you know what, I'm going to make it illegal for you to have a fence in your backyard.
Well, the issue I
You
have.
cannot have a dog like the dog that you've got. No, you're
Oh,
you're
no,
not gonna-
I'll
you're
be
getting
moving.
nothing, honey.
Well, the issue I have this year is not really so much what might have been said 20 years ago, 25 years
Mhm.
ago, what somebody running for VP may have said. Those aren't my issues. My issues are, what have you done recently and what do you plan on doing? I know there's some candidates running for an office, and you go back and look at their record of what they've done for the last 4 years. It's zero, nothing.
Yeah,
Zilch.
that's the problem. They got nothing. They have not moved the ball
No,
1 inch
no,
on that 100-yard playing field.
that's
If
right.
they have not moved the ball 1 inch in 4 years, or in a whole ball game, 48
Right.
minutes in a high school football game, if that ball has not moved towards the other person's goal line,
Right. See, that's the
Then
issue
there's a
I
problem.
have with some of the candidates that are running. And I'm not talking about locally. Locally
Mhm.
doesn't count. Locally is locally, but I'm talking state, federal. What do you do? What do you do? Where do you go? What's your mindset? Do you just not vote at all in those
No,
categories?
No, I'm going to vote.
I think you should vote.
I'm going to vote. I think if you choose to vote, you should vote. If you choose not to vote, then you know what?
You're not exercising.
You probably need to keep your opinions to yourself, because
Right.
obviously you have no opinion.
Right. But where do you do you vote because you can't make up your mind and you're not sure and you don't like either candidate, so you vote just by your party?
Oh, heavens no, never ever.
That's what a lot of people are.
I know that, but I it's up to you. 'Cause if you're a party
It's you're really
aficionado,
Yeah.
if you live and die by the party, then
Right.
you will vote and die by the party.
right.
If not, then vote however you want to vote, and I don't care. That's
Right.
obviously if I really cared, I would have you vote exactly the way that I do, and then we can run this country the way it's supposed to be run. But you know what? That would make me a dictator.
I think it's about a lot of hesitation is this election cycle. A lot of people
There's a lot
I've
more
talked to,
right now. Than
they're just
ever
like
before.
throwing their hands up in the air. Where do you go? What do you do?
Mhm.
I tell you, I mean, I'd run right out for stay of voting and vote, but I'm still having some issues with.
I've got issues. I got some on the state level. I got some choices, a choice to make, maybe 2 choices to make in the Onslow County races. Because I'm just not firmly convinced
There's only one,
that what I thought.
and I'm not talking about local. I'm talking about state level. This is one I have an issue with, but
On the state level, I got a couple.
and then
got
and then on the
one.
council of state level, there's probably 2 or 3.
And
And on
Oh,
the federal
God.
level,
we're in a mess.
we're in a
Okay,
mess.
we'll
Anyway.
be back tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
We're going to get Dr. Rose, and
It's
maybe-
Healthcare
maybe-
Wednesday.
Maybe I can lay down on the couch and let her give me some advice tomorrow.
Yes.
She told me what I had last week. She told me I had the crud,
Well,
and it is.
yeah. Okay. I'm
So
not gonna go.
we've got Dr. Rose in tomorrow morning at 7:30. We got Peter Wright, and so it's time.
That was just my phone. No, it wasn't. Oh, no, it's okay. We're good.
Another mouse.
No. It's my little cricket machine.
Oh, okay. Still got crickets. Anyway, we're Peter Wright's talking about what I'm getting phone calls about every freaking day and
Oh
night
my
now,
gosh.
and even letters are coming in.
That reminds me that I wanted to put out there. Are you getting phone calls and when you answer, you go, hello, hello, and they
And then
don't
they
answer,
hang
then
up.
they hang up?
Yeah.
You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to get clicks. If they can just show that they called that number, they don't
that
have
what
to
it is?
talk to you. They're getting clicks and they're getting paid for how many calls they make. So if it's a number that pops up and you do not know who it is, don't answer them. Don't let them get those clicks. They're making money off of it.
I did not even think about that.
That's exactly
Oh,
what
well,
they're
you
doing.
guys are no. How long do they have to keep you on the line? Is it just to answer it?
Uh,
There used to be, like in the early cell phone days, you had to
Yes.
be on the line for like 10 seconds or something before they actually charged you for it.
well, if you think about it, you'll say hello, and then you listen, and then you go hello,
And then it goes click after 10
and then
seconds.
it goes click.
It's probably the 10-second rule.
See,
Same
they're
10-second rule.
they're getting credit for
Okay,
every
you
call they
guys,
make.
if I answer it and I
Don't
say hello
answer.
and you don't say hello, it's done.
No, I'm not
gonna keep
even
you on the
answering
line.
anymore because they're getting paid.
Yeah.
For
If I
doing
could-
nothing.
You know what would be fun if I could, like we used to be, there was a little gimmick that we used to have at one time. It wasn't strictly legal, perhaps,
Right.
but you called me, I could hit a button and lock your phone. It would, you could
Oh, I want one of
you
those.
could not disconnect your phone, and it would stay connected as long as my phone stayed off the hook. You were connected.
Did you ever do the
No.
whistle trick?
Oh yeah.
I did that one time because on our private investigation line, we had some kids call in saying they had lost their little wee-wees and needed them to be found. And so I got the whistle out, and when they started, I blew hard into the phone. I couldn't hear for 3 days. So don't use the whistle.
No, but I know we're over time, but talk a bit.
Okay, talk a bit. All right. Yeah. I was just talking about the people the phone calls that you get all the time, because I couldn't figure out why am I getting all these phone calls, and as soon as I go hello, 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 they hang up, and it was constant. Then I realized because like when I was active in the Republican Party, we used a system that we would use an app that would give us a different telephone number showing on other people's phone, and that we would call. And I know that a lot of people would just call and go hello, hello, and then hang up.
Yeah.
And it gave them credit and it marked them for showing that they had called. So people, and that's just what these people, these insurance companies, these healthcare companies have hired people for probably $2-3 an hour to sit there and do nothing but make phone calls.
$2 or $3 an hour
Yes.
plus $1 for each phone call. that you
Yes,
make.
yes. I mean, so I just quit answering them all. And not always do they come up and show scam telemarketer or whatever. Not always.
Here's what I have done on a
'Cause of
couple of
cloning
occasions
phone
in the
numbers.
past.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I gotcha. It's like the whistle trick. Okay.
So anyway, that's what I used to do.
Yes.
We will see you guys. Don't do that, please. I say with jest.
Right.
Do it if you want to these folks who call you and aggravate you.
That was horrible.
I got some others that are even worse.
Right.
I gotta take another
Okay.
trip to the vet. I locked the cat in this time so he can't escape.
So
He knows when it's time.
when you open that door, he's gonna go
No,
busting through.
no. And he can go in the garage to his litter box, which he very seldom uses because he likes to go outside.
Uh-huh.
But last week when I had an appointment to take him to the vet, he disappeared on me when he saw the cat carrier out. So
Gotcha.
I got you this
Smart
time.
cat. I hate a smart cat.
He's a good kitty.
All right, we'll see you in the morning. You're live and local, real talk. We do appreciate y'all here on Facebook and YouTube. And as we explained to the sheriff, and I talked to him before, he's looking forward to being able to listen to us when he's out driving
That's
around
right.
and all
That's
that.
right.
We're working on it. We're working on it, and
Yeah.
we're working on it. And it's getting closer. So hang in there.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Be safe out there,
Bye.
y'all.